I think it's a great thing to go out and do with a group of people. You really realize things about your team that aren't clear when you're sitting around a table or working on a business problem. The way people act when confronted with a problem in a space, especially without their normal tools, I think tells you a lot about the sort of strengths and weaknesses of your organization. So I certainly learned more about the people I was working with. One thing you have to do herd-wise is you have to get the horses from one side of the arena to the other side without using any harness or anything you would use. And it was interesting to see the way the different people attacked the problem, who hung back, who jumped right in, who tried to take over the group. And I think that'd be valuable for any team or business team trying to understand what each other is about. I'm a very verbal person. I tend to communicate with words and with hand gestures, and I think the value of the herd-wise experience is that horses don't really care what you're saying. It's all about how you're saying it, and you're communicating with them in a very different way, a very different communication style than I'm used to. And human beings, I think, also respond to non-verbal cues a lot more than verbal cues. So it was very instructive for somebody like me to notice the difference between, I guess, my own way of communicating and then my sort of internal thought process. I mean, horses seem to be able to really pick up on what you're actually thinking as opposed to what you're saying out loud. And I think if you can really harness that skill as a leader and a teammate, that's very important for business. So there's a point you have to get horses over obstacles, right? And it was, you could test it. You could say, whether I believed the horse and I were going over the obstacle together had a lot to do with whether we got over the obstacle or not. It didn't really seem to matter how hard you pulled or where you touched them or what you said. It was all about whether you were able to envision you and the horse going over the obstacle or not. And I think that's true. I mean, that's true with any goal you're trying to achieve, right? If you can't envision the goal in your mind, then the chance of it happening are very slim. I found it to be an enlightening experience, but also a very peaceful and relaxing experience. And I think there's something to just being around horses. I mean, they're such noble, graceful creatures. And so even outside of pursuing these different business objectives, I think horses can teach you a lot about just presence, and being around horses is I think a positive experience for everyone.